Sindbad and his falcon. There was a king, Sindbad, who was very fond of racing and hunting. The king had brought up a falcon as his pet. Wherever the king went, the bird also went with him. Even at night, the falcon stayed with him on his fist. The king had a golden cup tied around her neck to provide her drink during hunting. One day, when the king was sitting in his palace in a leisurely mood, the falcon said to him, the time was suitable for hunting. The king liked his suggestion and set out with his hunting troop. They went to a valley and spread the net. Soon, a gazelle was trapped in the area covered by the net. When the king's men began narrowing the net circle to trap the gazelle, at that time the king warned his men not to allow the gazelle to escape, otherwise they would be punished to death. The gazelle was frightened and it moved towards the king and suddenly jumped over his head and escaped. The king's men started whispering that the king himself had allowed the gazelle to escape. When the king noticed them murmuring, he asked his wazir whether his men wanted to say something. The wazir replied, the king's men were saying that the king had warned that he would kill the person who lets the gazelle escape. When the king came to know about this, he declared that he would not return until he caught the gazelle. He set out on his horse. The falcon rose high up into the air and spotted the running gazelle. She swooped down on the gazelle and blinded it with her sharp claws. The king killed the gazelle with his mace. The king stripped the gazelle's skin, put it across his saddle. It was a hot afternoon and the place they were wandering was devoid of any water source, which means there was no sign of water anywhere. The king, his horse and falcon were thirsty. The king went further in search of water. Finally, the king came across a tree and saw some kind of liquid dripping through the leaves of a tree. As his falcon was very thirsty, the king took out the cup from her neck and filled it with the dripping liquid. He then placed the cup in front of the falcon. But surprisingly, the falcon overturned the cup instead of drinking it. The king picked up the cup, filled it again and placed in front of the falcon once again. But the falcon upset it again with her talons. The king was very angry. Next time, he filled the cup with the dripping liquid and placed it in front of his horse. Once again, the falcon hastily upset it again. Now the king became furious. Furious means very angry. He started scolding it by using the word unlucky and foolish thing. The king became very angry and cut off the falcon's wings for neither drinking the water nor allowing the horse to drink it. The falcon cried out in pain. It drew the attention of the king to the poisonous viper lying high up in the trees. The king then realized that the dripping liquid was poison coming out of the viper. The king was remorseful for cutting off the wings of his loyal and beloved falcon. He returned to the camp with the falcon sitting on his fist. As soon as they reached the camp, the falcon, which had tolerated the pain till then, gasped for breath and died. The repentant king cried aloud to lose his faithful companion who had saved his life. This is the story of King Sindbad and his falcon. Dear students, I hope you all have understood the story of King Sindbad and his falcon. Please comment the moral which you got from the story. We'll meet in the next class. Bye for now. Thank you. Have a nice day.